idea is to look at it exactly how you would want to talk to a girl in a bar that you would want to, I don't know, date. So imagine you go over to the girl in a bar, you say, hey, hi, and would you marry me? I don't care how rich you are, I don't care how smart or handsome you look, it's going to be thrown in your face. That's stupid, right? No, you don't do that. That's stupid.
Welcome, Rohit, to this podcast. To formally introduce you to everyone, I will introduce you the way you prefer. Is a failed entrepreneur, a decent marketer, but a skilled teacher. And I can vouch for that since I've been in your course, and it is one of the best course out there if you want to really learn about the whole marketing mix.
Just happy to be here. I feel good. I feel very positive about this podcast because our conversations usually are a lot of fun.
So let's start with the rapid fire section. Okay. So in the rapid fire, as you know, I'm going to ask you some questions and test your presence of mind in the field of marketing. All right.
Okay.
So the first question being, how would you sell ice in Antarctica?
I'd give it the Victorinox brand name.
You can sell anything with that brand name, right? Awesome. So the second question I want to ask you is, can you rate these social media platforms from your side as a consumer and as a marketer? That is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, or LinkedIn as well.
So I think let's take five. Let's drop Snapchat from the list because I'm not very active there. Yeah.
Okay.
So as a consumer, I am a big fan of LinkedIn and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then Twitter, then Facebook, and then TikTok. So, but as a marketer, I'd go as the number one. In my experience, if you compare the customer service that a lot of these other social media platforms have, LinkedIn is so good. You reach out to them and they help you. Hands down, no competition whatsoever. And it's a good place when you want to get B2B business. So LinkedIn, second again comes Instagram. Then I'll go for Facebook as a marketer. No, I think let me take TikTok because it's really up and running and kicking everyone in the wrong way, I would say. Then Facebook, then Twitter. Twitter, though I used to love Twitter, but I don't think there's too much a marketer can take. Obviously, you can do a lot of stuff, but no, it doesn't cut ice with me anymore.
Okay, interesting. I love how it was like last as a consumer TikTok, but like you have to get on that platform if you wanna like grow your brand, right? Because of the organic.
I know. Yes, you can't run away from TikTok.
So I'll move on to the next question. Here I do a segment where I want to talk more about brands and like brand identity, and like I feel like that's identity in everything, not just like companies, but like people, states, everything that you see, there's an identity. So here I want to talk about mobile companies because there is a lot of variety over there, and it's like such an established market. I think there's a lot of insightful, like in terms of consumer behavior, how you identify these brands. So the first brand being iPhone.
Was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Might be awesome. Not sure about the future.
Oh, controversial. I mean, I'm an iPhone user, so I think I'm biased. I love iPhones.
You're rich too.
I'm not rich. I'm on iPhone 6. I am not rich.
Okay.
Since 5 years, I have an iPhone 6, but like I wouldn't change it because I have AirPods and I have Apple Watch and I have Mac and like the whole ecosystem. Like I just want to break it.
Ria, someone like you isn't good for the economy.
I'm spending so much money.
No, but you want good for the economy. We want people to spend more money. But change their phone, every 7 to 8 months.
All right. So the next brand being Samsung.
Was okay. Is awesome. And I expect them to give everyone a run for their money for sure in the future as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I use a Samsung phone. I use an S10. And I think it's right up there with a lot of other brands. Yeah?
I think I am like the opposite, maybe because like I'm an iPhone user, but like back in the day, right, I used to be against iPhone, and I like started, there was Samsung Corby, if you remember. That was brilliant marketing done. 1/3 of my class had Corby's. That was such
Okay.
a bad phone. I felt so cheated.
Okay.
Anyway, the next one being OnePlus.
Awesome. In a lot of ways. And they don't want you to settle. New stuff keeps coming out. So they don't want to settle. Their marketing is awesome and they appeal to the youth. Yes, I could use 3 terms there.
Yeah, I think that we can agree on. Yes, OnePlus is really,
Yeah.
really up there. Marketing is, I think they started with the flagship. I think they were one of the first, right, to start
Yes.
with the flagship model, and they come up with like iPhone does it once a year with a grand reveal, but like
Yeah.
OnePlus does like every 6 months, like as soon as possible they can put out a new phone.
Recently, I attended a session which said for every television in India, there are at least 4 mobile phones.
Wow.
We have certainly a lot of television in this country. So that just tells you the magnitude of the market size. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So let's move on to the next section now. So here
Yeah.
is the $1 million question. What do you think is next in marketing?
Okay. To be honest, I really don't know what is next in marketing. But what I know is it's going to be the survival of the people who adapt, who use this time to get better.
To keep asking questions again and again, questions of the market, questions of your brand. COVID has been a punch in our face. It's been a real hard punch in our face, and expect more punches in the future.
So yes, I don't know necessarily what's next, but I know what I can do as a marketer, or what a lot of marketers can do to prepare for what's next in marketing.
Mm-hmm. That's an awesome point, honestly. Like nobody predicted Corona is going to happen, and you don't know in future as well. Like even in your business, right? Like something really instrumental happens, and your budgets are gone. Dealing in the moment with a situation, and because it's pretty time sensitive as well, like the marketing industry, especially the digital marketing industry. So thinking on your feet becomes that much more important. So when I say thinking on your feet, I feel like thinking on your feet can also be thought of like a muscle, and you can tell me if you don't agree with it. And it's something that you can practice and get better at. So what are some things that you would suggest that could help people to deal better in their situations?
Deal better, right? See, if you are, say, a cricketer, you're Sachin Tendulkar, yeah, and if you have to face a Shoaib Akhtar, you can't one fine day just wake up and say, hey, I'm all ready to face Shoaib Akhtar, and you're going to be steaming and bowling at 155 kilometers per hour. You can keep practicing, you can keep developing that habit where you're picturizing Shoaib Akhtar coming in, you're trying to figure out, the various shots you could play, your attack, your defense. So I believe very strongly that as a marketer also, you have to keep preparing, you have to keep getting better. How do you tackle it? Is first of all, you make peace, absolute peace that you are going to see immense change in the future. Figure out how your brand can embrace the change that is happening. And if you're constantly insecure about yourself and your brand, you will not be able to adapt to the change. If you're constantly worried about being hit flat in your face, you will not be able to adapt. And a big problem with a lot of old school marketers is that they believe that if something worked in the past and it has worked for a lot of years, it's going to work in the future. That's the biggest mistake you can make, telling yourself, hey, as been working for the past few decades, it will hold me in good stead in the future. No. So you could perhaps keep looking around the world for the best brands. Okay, for example, what Airbnb does. Yeah, keep looking for what Airbnb does. Learn from them so it could adapt to you. So I tell most of my students whenever I teach them, make a list of 3 or maybe 5 brands, follow them everywhere, follow their television ads, follow them on print, follow them on social media, anything and everything, the blogs by their founders. And yes, there's so much to learn from that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Honestly, those are really good points. I saw like recently also that the social media strategies of a lot of brands has changed. Like they might have like a content calendar, like how it usually goes. And now that I see that Swiggy, right? Especially I think Swiggy I've been observing a lot, probably because like I was like a hardcore customer before the lockdown. But now that I live with my family, I haven't used it in a very long time. But now I see their ads, and even if I go on my app, on the Swiggy app, I still haven't uninstalled it in the hopes of someday I'm going to be ordering a pizza. But anyway, like I can see on before it was a lot about like, oh, there are these different dishes from different parts of the world and how they embrace like the diversity in culture that we have in India. And now that when I see their ads, it's a lot more about being safe and like following the social distancing and hygiene, and how even when they want to sort of make a sales pitch, they would talk about how everybody in the kitchen, the measures that they're taking in the kitchen, and how their food will be clean so that even people in the lockdown can order that. I think they would have to really change everything, because I know Swiggy is like too strong with their creatives. It's all original, all animated. So that must take a while, right? So I can't imagine overnight or probably in like 1-2 weeks, they would have to turn everything around to do such a thing. So that's something I've observed from Swiggy. So okay, I want to go a little bit back to when we were talking about how can people increase their understanding of marketing or digital marketing. So what are some ways that you have done that has helped you a lot, and you would probably recommend other people also that this might work for them?
I've never read a book on digital marketing. I never attended on digital marketing, but I have read a lot on marketing. I try to read blogs on, perhaps on overall branding and PR and digital marketing to some extent. I'm a strong believer that if your understanding of marketing is really strong, your understanding of brand is really strong. Okay, so I tell everyone who's associated with me, especially workplace or at stage, get your marketing strong. That's one thing you could definitely do. Secondly, if you're a digital marketer, be active on as many platforms as possible. Because if you might know a lot about marketing, you might have the degrees from the top colleges, and tomorrow you have to devise a strategy for TikTok. But if you are not on TikTok, you will not be able to jack with it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Look for brands that are doing absolutely fabulous job. Doing an absolutely fabulous job. Anyone who's doing a great job, doesn't have to be from industry. Learn from them, get inspired from them, and you should ask the right questions. If they goof up, what would you be doing, as a brand manager? So play that role in your mind. You're like, hey, I'm the brand manager of Airbnb. What could I have done as a market? 3 traits. One is curiosity. Second is common sense. And the third is empathy. So you have these 3, you should be in good stead in a lot of ways.
So when I was in my old agency, right? So we were like, they were coming up with new capabilities. So this opportunity of like starting YouTube Organic came up. And I remember as a student, I was hooked onto YouTube. I was one of those people who didn't watch shows anymore. I used to just be on YouTube, follow a lot of YouTubers, and like I was in the community. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I felt like as a consumer, I knew a lot of things that I liked and I know other people reacted to, because not just the channel, but I also think the comments are so important. How people are reacting to a channel, right? Like I heard this from Gary Vee, that I don't even look at what people post. I look at how are people reacting to the post, because like the whole comment section has its own thing going on. Especially on YouTube, it's very active. So with that, I felt like I had such a great insight from the consumer side that technical skills can be learned, but if you don't know the consumer side of it, then you would really be, I don't know, like you'd be blind trying to do it, right? So I think that really helped me. And I remember when I was talking to you also one of these days, you told me how everything cannot be learned from an expert, but sometimes you need to go to the consumer. Can you elaborate a bit more on what you were telling me that day?
I developed one campaign last year for Victorinox kitchen knife, based on a statement that my mother made in the kitchen. My mom not a digital expert, but she gave me a good insight.
Yes, definitely. That's damn cute, honestly. And yeah, I mean, when you get these ideas in a very organic environment, I think those are the best ideas. Instead of trying to think, aisa hota hoga, vaisa hota hoga. This makes a lot more sense. Obviously, it can't be recreated, but I think you can always be observant and try to see how these people are engaging with these products, where exactly are they using it. This was a cool chat. I just want to sum up, in the next section, like what are some things, like if you had to give in brief, what were some things that people who are listening to this can go back and implement in their own accounts, or even if there are students, they can get started on thinking along these lines.
I will talk about what professionals can do, those who are in the digital marketing field, especially the ones who are slightly senior, the managers above. Okay, get access to all your accounts on your phone. Suppose you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on LinkedIn. Yeah, get it on your phone. Try posting at least once a month. Do some posting. Look at comments. Go deep into the comments. That is where you will learn. At the end of the day, the comments that you get, okay, the reactions that you get, or the messages that you're getting up in your mailbox, in your inbox rather, that will help you understand the market. That will help you understand, and those are honest views. That's not something that is done, by paying someone money. So if you want to be a better brand manager or a better digital marketer, get your hands dirty. So I post once in a while. I also reply to comments once in a while. Okay? I read every comment that comes to me. That is my market research always, because especially in COVID times, I can't go to the store and meet my customer. Secondly, I hope COVID gets over soon, and when it gets over and you have events, go down for the events, offline events. Whenever I have done that, yes, I have got some crazy insight. Data is gold for me. It helps me tweak my marketing strategy. Now, for the people who are just starting off, or even for students, don't waste too much time reading theory. Read theory and get into the bio. Try to run some Google ads, some SEM ads. Or get your hands dirty. Start your social media marketing. Create a brand page. See, it's all about getting your hands dirty. I did not study digital marketing in any college. I haven't read a book on digital marketing. Fine. But I've learned on the job. Never think you're too big, to do anything. Till the time my job involves, a part of my job involves social media marketing, I have access to everything. I go and have access to my dashboard for my media buying campaigns also. Yeah, for students especially, there'll be a lot of small brands, say a small supermarket in your area or a small salon in your area, that might want someone to handle this social media marketing. They might have really small budgets. So if you are someone who wants to be the branding space in digital, you could perhaps start that small. If you're a secondary student, BBA student, go and create the language for that brand. See, getting your hands dirty in the digital world is never going to go out of fashion.
Awesome. Great message. Okay, I think that's all for this podcast. It was so much fun chatting with you. I feel like we should do a lot more episodes. But yes, that's all for today.
It's always fun having these chats with you about marketing, because what I like most about you is that you're very curious. You want to learn, and that is the biggest trait a marketer can have. And yeah, I hope I get more of this curiosity from you, and perhaps we could keep learning from each other.
Yes, don't be so modest. I think this was one of the key lessons I learned from your courses as well. I mean, you frame it differently, that you always, specify, which is to ask the right questions. And whenever I think of your course, I think that phrase always struck my mind, to ask the right questions. And that was a brilliant lesson, honestly, that I can just apply to everything that I do.
You're letting the secrets out. People will not join my course.
No, there's lots more.
No, I'm glad. That is there. There is certainly a lot more. But I'm glad you took that away, because we have to keep asking questions, the right ones as marketers. Otherwise, it's the end of the journey for us.
Yeah, it's not a theory. It's not like ye hua to ye karo, ye hua to ye karo, right? You need to be curious, and marketing is like, you have to be come up with new things and keep experimenting, find out what's next. On this podcast, what's next in marketing.